Go. Hello, everyone, and welcome back once again to the Great Scott Podcast. I am joined by actors Zachary, Roozen, and Trevor Larcam. How's it going, gentlemen?
Hanging in there. I have a
Doing
little bit of
good.
a cold, so I'm gonna battle through that. So if my voice sounds a little deeper and a little bit more husky, that's why. Maybe that's good. I don't know.
I was going to say people like deep voices, so you may not have to worry about that. Yeah.
True.
That's
So,
gonna help us. That's gonna help us today, Zach.
Yeah. We need what we can get.
Right.
Trevor, let's start with you. Trevor, I'm a big Fresh Off the Boat fan.
Okay.
I love that show. Any talks of it ever coming back at all?
Obviously it's still in the hopes and dreams, but obviously I don't know. That's all production sided. I hope so. That'd be awesome. I'd love to see like a sequel or something like that. I love that show. It was on for 6 seasons, as you know,
Absolutely.
and it was amazing. And I think that they could do a lot with the not just like the family, but they could branch off with so many different things. Like young Sheldon's having
Yeah.
a new series that they're making off of the older brother, and I mean it's always in the playbook, but I don't have any intel on that.
I think some variation of Big Bang Theory is going to always be around, no matter
Right?
what. They'll find something to do with
Yeah,
each
doesn't matter.
character. Yeah, even though the dad died off, so
Yeah, they don't care. They'll keep it going no matter what they
they'll
have to
keep
do.
it going. Absolutely. So, Trevor, I guess I'll talk with you for a little bit, and then we'll get to Zach. But it was your mom's friend that I think encouraged you to get into acting because of your redheadedness, and I know that redheadedness runs in your family.
That is very true. So yeah, my mom's friend, she was an agent. She worked for an agency, and when I was first born, my mom and dad they didn't want to like push me into acting because we lived in LA. I grew up in LA,
Yeah.
and it was kind of just like a thing to do, like a little activity. When my dad retired, he retired early from Chevron at like 45, and he was just like, "Hey, Trevor, like, well, we're gonna go to auditions just for fun." I was like, "Sure, let's do it." It was like going to play baseball or like going for like just an activity for a kid, something to do. And I never thought anything of it. None of us did. None of us thought of anything. But it picked up, and I was successful, and I'm blessed because of that, and it was a good thing. And
Yeah, because I was gonna say you got like you're started like what age 5 or 6 years old? You were in like commercials when you were that young.
yeah, so I started auditioning when I was 6, and I got my first national commercial when I was like 7.5. It was a Target commercial, and then from that I got my first show. It was a House. I don't know if you remember that show,
Yeah,
House.
that was the doctor show.
Yep, yep. So the scene, it was a clown was at my birthday party, and pretty much I just said he was like a shitty clown. Like I don't know if we can curse on here, but he was a bad clown, and
Okay.
I was like, "You're a sucky clown," and then I punched him in the nuts, and he ended up dying. He ended up dying after that. So see Zach, but yeah,
That's
that was
something.
my first gig.
Yeah, that's something I'll never forget. But anyways, so you also talk about speaking of gigs that you've had. Your favorite seems to have been with Colin Farrell, right? You were playing his.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah, that
in True Detective it was.
True Detective season 2. Yeah, so I was playing Chad Belcora. I was Colin's son in the show, and he was just a dream to work with. He's an amazing guy, amazing, obviously decorated actor, amazing performer. I can't say enough good things about the time that I spent with him on that show, and the time that I got to spend on that show. Like that was definitely one of my favorite things that I've done. And looking back on it now, I think that was definitely something that I'm super proud of being a part of.
But your guys' publicist came on.
Leah's in the house.
Leah,
Hello, hello.
He was
He's
in
like the
Happy
hi.
silent
a
guy.
couple
She's
of your
just
pictures.
watching.
I'm the silent eyes. I know. No video for me. How are you guys?
Hi, guy. Hi, Leah. Hope you're well.
Hi.
So, Zach, we'll talk with you now.
Yeah.
So, it seems like you're at a film festival every other day. It seems like Zach.
It's been a really wild couple months. So I've been to, let's see, 4 countries and 9 states in a month and a quarter. So it's been kind of all over. That's probably why I have a cold. It's just from flying on all these different flights. But yeah, I was just in Duluth, Minnesota, which is actually where I'm from, Minneapolis, and they
Okay.
asked me to come in there and do something for Catalyst. It's like a big film festival, and basically I was there to judge the pitches and to pick which stories I thought would be most viable, both in like the Hollywood space, but also in the independent space. But yeah, I've been there. I went to Fright Fest to open a movie at the Odeon, which is like where they opened Harry Potter and Alien. I'm a big Ridley Scott fan, so they opened Alien there. So yeah, it's been a whirlwind of a month and a half, but I'm glad to be home, honestly. I got home today and I'm just like, my God.
So what time did you get home today? Was it like early in the morning?
Yeah, I got home early in the morning and it was a two-flight connection flight. I was actually coming from Kentucky. I did a short gig in Kentucky. And so, yeah, I got up pretty early and then there's obviously a time delay here. So it's back for me. So I kind of, I was like floating back through time. But that's the other thing that's so hard is I've been like 13 hours ahead and then I've been
That was gonna be my
behind schedule. So I'm like, am I in tomorrow or am I in today? I don't know.
that was gonna be my next question. How do you keep track of time wherever you're at? I mean, does your watch or do you have like a watch that synchronizes time
I
or
don't. I should. This is kind of funny. This is on my desk, but I actually have this big I don't know if you can see this, but it's this planner my mom gave me. It's kind of embarrassing actually.
20,
Maybe I should
24/25? Yeah.
have But basically like every single little block on there in the top right, there's actually a space and I put like +3 or -3 and I keep track of it. And then I also keep track of like all the stuff because when I'm on the road, I'm like, what do I have today? I don't know. Do I need to jump on a podcast? Do I need to be somewhere? So I'm definitely more of a creative brain, and so I need that logic side of me to in the form of my mother's planner.
Well, I can tell you, this will be the best podcast you'll be on for a while. So yeah.
Yes.
So Zach, you also have your own YouTube channel, and you did something a few years ago that is nuts, I think. But you just biked until you passed out because you wanted to do something that was based off of a film you saw.
Yes, yes. I love that you saw that. That's amazing. Yeah,
Yes.
so I decided in the middle of COVID there was a film called Gattaca, which I've loved for a long time. And in the movie there's two brothers and one is genetically modified and he's kind of superhuman and the other one is just normal, right? And the whole story is just kind of about how the one that's not genetically modified is always losing to his brother. And there's this scene in the movie where they both swim out and it's something that they do that the brother that's like genetically modified always wins, right? And they swim out in the ocean as far as they can, and then the one brother inevitably is like, "We need to go back." And in the one of the climactic scenes, I'm sorry, I'm going to ruin it for you, but they go out there, and the genetically modified one is like, "I need to turn around. How are you doing this? Like, how are you continuing to swim?" And he gives a famous quote, which is like, "I didn't save any for the swim back." So it's
Hmm.
basically to say that heart at some point will always overcome like natural born talent if it's in the right spaces, and so with that, I decided I was like, you know what? I'm going to get on a bike and I'd love to just see how far I can go if I commit fully to something. And that bike ride ended with me at a 7-Eleven gas station in San Diego. I went from LA to San Diego. It was about 240-ish miles. And I passed out and I woke up and this woman was like kicking my body. I woke up and I was like, what? What happened? And she's like, oh, I'm sorry, honey. No homeless here. No homeless here. I'm just like, man. But yeah, I love doing crazy stuff like that. It's something I've kind of always done. And thankfully in the YouTube world, people really love it. And I lived off YouTube for a couple of years doing that kind of crazy stuff. So I
I
love
hadn't,
that you saw that.
yeah, I hadn't seen any videos that you posted recently. I didn't know if you were planning on getting back to that.
Yeah, I quit YouTubing maybe 3 years ago, 2.5, 3 years ago.
Hmm.
I mean, my goal has always been to be doing narrative features and TV. So I kind of made the decision that if I'm going to do something, I might as well, just like that video, I guess, go all the way and do it right. So as much as I love YouTube, I could see myself coming back. It's definitely not in the immediate. I'm more focusing on these movies and making my way in the Hollywood world.
So, Trevor, I wanted to ask you, you are a spiritual religious man who has a deep faith in God. And so, how hard is it to keep that faith with what you're doing? Because I know Hollywood can be a crazy, nutty business. And how do you stay so grounded with that faith in God that you have?
Well, you're right. It is a crazy business, and I think that there's a lot of different, factors outside of even just the business where you have to stay grounded, like you said. And I think that just the family life that I have and the time that I get to spend away from it, I like to do peaceful things. Like I like to golf, and I like to, like Zach said, I like to exercise a lot. I don't know if I'm going to go 240 miles to San Diego and get kicked.
That was my next question for you. Would you go doing that? Yeah.
Yeah. So just stuff like that, things to keep my mind occupied and peaceful things that I can satisfy myself from other than, being so addicted to Hollywood and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
would you ever try swimming out as far as you can?
I'm very impressed by that story. Actually, I'm super like that pumps me up. Like hearing that, that's really cool. Like
If you're listening to this podcast, do not try that. Let me tell you, as somebody who's done that, do not do that, especially not in the water. Do not do that.
maybe not the water. The water might be a bad idea. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna swim out there and have nothing left to get back. I don't know if that's the best
Right.
idea, but something along those lines. I love to challenge myself and I love to push myself to do things like that. And hearing stuff like that motivates me, and that's really cool.
So that's one other question I meant to ask you, Zach. Was that film based upon a true story that two people actually did that or they got that idea for it?
I think Gattaca, if you've never seen this movie, it's amazing. I mean, it's Ethan Hawke at his best, I think. But honestly, I think the movie's more based on like when CRISPR came out. I don't know if you know about this, but it's like gene editing and things like that. And so I think it was looking at kind of like we're looking at in the AI conversation right now, just how we keep kind of reiterating or like making reiterations of human abilities, and it's leading to this like superhuman kind of thing. So I think they were more focusing on that, but I definitely know too, there's definitely a lot of that kind of natural competition between siblings and friends and things like that. And I don't know, I kind of really relate with it too, because I don't know if I'm naturally just talented in what I'm trying to do, but I really want to be and I want to be better. And so I think it's inspiring to me because there's steps that I can take to keep getting better and to see progress. And then also step away, like Trevor's saying, and kind of realize that it doesn't, you know, we're not living to work this way. It should be your passion. It should be something that you love. And, family and God and things like that are more important.
So the next video you make, Zach, I want to see something like that. All right. I want to see some kind of challenge like that.
Just keep getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, yeah. Go to Mexico. Go all the way down
Yeah,
to Mexico.
exactly. Well, that was the joke was, so I went with a buddy and he ended up actually getting me because he turned around and our other buddy got him, but we actually put the destination as Mexico City. So that was like
Okay.
our on our little app that we were tracking all of our miles. It just said like Mexico is 2,000 miles.
Yeah.
Like, oh Lord.
So
That's
you
so funny.
so you almost kind of made it to Mexico. Then it sounds like almost kind of.
I
You're
was
right at the border.
close. I literally the last memory I had was just buying those little those donuts. There's like the coconut chocolate and the
Oh
vanilla
yeah.
one. I bought those. I like ate that, and then the next thing I know, like her foot is waking me up. So I definitely maxed out. I'm proud of that. I definitely went as far as I could go. That's for sure.
So let's talk about the film, Hapy Endings Parlor trailer. So basically, it was written by your co-star Kyle,
Yep.
if I'm not mistaken. He had lost a childhood friend, and he pretty much based that off of that for this film, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. He had a really close, a best friend that passed away in his neighborhood. It was really hard for him. Um, this person was also really funny and fun. And so it was this weird duality where he was really sad about this thing, but he also recognized that this person was a lighthearted and fun person. And so to kind of process that, it was the first, draft of Funeral Parlor came out of that. And that I think was about 7 years ago. So it shows you just how slow and long these things take. And then I had worked with Kyle 4.5 years ago. I was in service at the time. I was just at a hotel. I was struggling. I was trying to find my way, and we just hit it off. And yeah, he pitched the idea to me. I loved it. And then we kind of rewrote the beginning of the feature into this short. And then we were thinking of people that we loved and love working with and that are talented and really cool. And so we obviously thought of Trevor, and Trevor was somebody that Kyle and Kyle's family knew. So it's just cool to see the domino effect of, you can take a tragic event and then create something out of it, and then it brings all these other people together. So as sad as that thing was, I'm also just thankful that something positive could come out of it. And this film is, it's a reflection of that for sure.
It seems like not to get philosophical here, but it seems like for every negative there comes to be a positive out of it every single time. That seems to be how life works. Again, I'm not
Definitely.
talking about spiritual or philosophical here, but it seems like if there's a negative in someone's life, there's going to be some kind of positive that's going to come out of it.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So Trevor, what was your takeaway on it? By the way, before you answer that, this is still yet to be at film festivals, if I'm not mistaken, right?
So no, so it has gone to two.
Oh, it has.
Yeah,
Okay.
it has gone to two. Los Angeles International Shorts Festival, and then also the Soho International Film
Okay.
Festival. So it's
So
been
it's
on both the West and East. West and East Coast, yeah.
West and East Coast. Yeah. So it is out now. Then people can watch it. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So Trevor, what was your takeaway?
Well, so Kyle is a family friend of mine for a few years now. When we first moved to Florida, he's from here, so we kind of like connected through his mom, who's a realtor who sold us some houses out here. And he's always been a cool guy, and he was very interested in me because like I've been in the business for a while, and he was like, he's always been he's so like into films, and he's such a great writer. He's a great guy, and we hit it off. And he brought it to me about a year ago, or not a year ago, a little longer than that. And I read the script. I mean, it's amazing. It's something I'm super proud to be a part of. It's super funny, and just the history of it, like Zach had explained, how you can turn something that's like a sad, like not negative thing, but you can change the way you look at it and make it a funny thing, a lighthearted thing. And I was all in on it. And we went out there and did it, and I'm super happy to be a part of it. And I'm excited to see what like more public people say about it, because when we took it to Soho, that was the first one I went to. I was supposed to go to the one in Los Angeles, but there was like the Delta flight chip thing, so I couldn't make it there, unfortunately. That was stupid. I was pretty upset about that, but
Hmm.
we took it to Soho, and I mean the crowd, they loved it, and it was really cool to see that reaction like in person, because you don't get to see that when you're a filmmaker. Like when I film things for studio things, you don't get to see like those reactions. You get to go home, you watch it on TV. You don't get to see those things. But when we're in the theater in New York, it was really cool to see that.
All right, Leia. So what was your takeaway on the film as well? No, I'm joking. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. So no, but Zach, you had originally been at a film festival for Ladybug, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that had already been debuted.
Yeah, so yeah, originally, so I went to Toronto for 2 weeks for a show for Amazon, and I wasn't going to be able to make it to Fright Fest to see Ladybug, but in like a really cool kind of turn of events, I was able to go and see it. And kind of like Trevor was saying, it's both nerve-wracking and also really exciting because, you know, at the studio level, they're testing these movies or shows so many times before they see the light of day. And for us, it's like we're our own, creation tester and everything. So it was really, it's really cool, and it's very I'm very thankful for the reactions we've been getting at Soho. It's a big industry town for sure in New York in general. And just to see some, pretty big Broadway actors came up after and were saying, we love this, we want to work with you guys. And ultimately, the point of this short is to make the feature. And so the feature is done and it's ready to roll. So this is like a little taste test. If you go to Yogurtland, this is your little like
Oh
taste
yeah.
cup of what this movie's going to be and what it can be. And we're just so proud and excited that that exists. So now then when people ask us, what's next? It's like, here it is. Here's what's next. So to anyone who's, watching, just supporting this movie means a lot to us because it also brings us closer to our initiative and our real goal of like making this 2 hour feature.
Now there's also something else I wanted to ask because when you had gone to Fright Fest, you had not seen the film Ladybug up to that point.
I had not, no, I had not. And I mean, if you've never seen the Odeon, it's like, I think it's 850 seats, very old. It's like a double raked, big proscenium theater. And yeah, I mean, I was like, you know what? It's out of my hands now. I did my part. Let's hope people like it. And
Yeah.
people seem to have a really good time with it. So
And I was also going to say, Happy Indians also has quite the cast as well. You had Corbin Burnson in it.
yep, yep.
From Major. No, not
Yeah,
not
Major League. Yeah,
Major League. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
Major
Major League.
League.
Yeah.
He was very big in LA Law,
Yes.
and then I grew up watching him in Psych and things like that. So I
Yes.
know it's funny. Like my mom, for example, she's like a huge fan of his, and so it was pretty cool. You never know how those people are going to be in person, and he was just so warm and friendly and kind. And we only had him one day, so we were just like, please know your stuff, please know your lines, just get through the day. And he did. He went above and beyond, and he seriously added so much to the final product. And you can see it in the scenes that he's in. And yeah, we're just blessed to have him. Trevor, Eric Nelson, Katie Sarife, Cassandra Skirbo, all those guys, they were amazing, and I'm just really thankful that they came and showed up.
Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on the program. Good luck with the project, and we'll be looking out for Zach's next challenge.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Hopefully I'll survive it.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's swim out.
Yeah, Trevor and I. Honestly,
Yeah,
you and I can do it.
I'm down, dude.
You can be my guy. All right.
Let's do it.
Well,
That's going to
thank
be
you,
the
gentlemen,
second
for your
episode,
time.
Michael. It's going to be
Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank
Appreciate it.
you.